going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is a special day because we are saying it so. For whatever reason, we just wanted to run another internal episode for you guys. To be honest with you, I'm not really feeling my most. I'm not feeling my number one podcast mood. So I said, hey, do we have any alcohol or something like that? And I found this bottle of Angel's Envy in my mom's closet. So we're not sponsored by them, but we're gonna enjoy a little whiskey, which by the way is my most hated alcohol.
Really? There goes the mic.
Gin would probably be the number one. My number one. I just think it's disgusting. That gin is probably.
Most alcohol is pretty gross.
Yeah. Is there anything? Is there any alcohol that actually tastes good?
That Jack whiskey though is pretty good.
The Jack whiskey is pretty good. Yeah, but that's because they put something
honey
in it. You know,
it's
what
like
I'm
honey.
saying?
It's like a little sweet. It has like a little sweetness to it, like where you could drink it straight without like really having to mix it.
Right. Yeah, no, but is there any like actual alcohol? Because people we don't talk about this. Like we've been getting some feedback. I don't know how good the feedback is, but like we've been getting some feedback that like we talk about the same things. And it's like, all right, like, what do you want? You want me to talk about my party boy lifestyle when I was the 14-year-old Jersey Shore Guido asshole in Long Island? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe.
Yeah, like, I mean, bro, that show's not on anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, bourbon, whiskey to me is I always thought it was cool because it's like a gentleman's drink.
Yeah.
So I thought it's like cool to order like a whiskey, but I just don't I don't know if I like it. Let's give this a go. Yeah. I went on that girls podcast, the Whining Over Wine.
Oh yeah.
And they do like I poured way too much.
Yeah, get me right.
I poured way. Get you right, cuz get you some of this bourbon right there. Yeah, But anyway, I went on that girls podcast. Shout out Carla Tovar, Whining Over Wine. Nice little podcast, and it was kind of funny too because at the time like they had me on and like I wasn't really known for anything. I was just like a videographer. And I was thinking about that today, like how I guess like we have like some case studies or like some evidence. Like if we were to go on a podcast, someone would be able to intro us. Hey, it's Zach and Jake from the Journey Podcast. Over 40 million views in 4 months. Tik Tok, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we have a resume now.
Right.
We have a resume, like some type of like statistics, some accolades that like we could carry with us.
But it was weird though, bro, because when I was there, I felt like it was weird. I felt like I deserved to be there because although I haven't gone viral on a podcast before that, I always just thought I was a great speaker, and like we podcast all the time. So it was pretty funny because I knew I was a great speaker, but I didn't have the evidence that I was a great speaker. Yeah. So like I knew in my like I had a belief that I would go on and like be really great, but I was also a little nervous because I was kind of like, why are these people having me on their podcast? I haven't really done much.
Well, I mean, they probably like dove into like your personality a little bit, like who you are, what you've done, the people you've been around. So You're obviously like an interesting person. So, yeah. And then you did good on the pod too. Like I watched it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but I felt like I wasn't as like I was episode like 28. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was like the filler. But which is kind of funny because for anyone early in your career, I'm sure you guys can possibly relate to this. You probably feel like you're meant to do something great. Like I truthfully feel like you and I are meant to have an amazing podcast, one of the world's most amazing podcasts, do beautiful things in the entertainment industry, have big brands, interview some of the largest people in the world. So if I feel that way, I don't feel like a filler.
Yeah.
But, it's funny when, if you're right now, if you feel like you're going to be something, odds are people aren't viewing you that way. And the truth is that they won't view that way until you do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could almost intro with something that I've been thinking about a little bit lately, and I guess I did it to like a little bit of a fault too, and I'm sure a lot of people watching have done it as well. And
can we before we do that rate this really quick?
Oh, sure.
Because
it was okay. Mind. I took a little sip.
You did it?
Right, yeah, it's all right. It's cool.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Ooh, the after.
Yeah.
Ooh, the after.
That's why I made that face when you were talking.
I'm gonna be fucking fired the fuck up this episode.
Yeah, that's why. What they drink this shit like when it's cold, right? Well,
you drink it on the rocks, I think.
No. I'm saying like football players, like when it's freezing, like in Soldier Field and stuff like that. What do they take a shot of before?
Do they? They
Some
do a little whiskey
or bourbon or something like. I know. I'm pretty sure. Like a lot of them, they take you take a nice chug of that before you go and play. They say like it keeps you warm. That's why they wear fucking short sleeves. Yeah, it's definitely not something that you're gonna sit there and down. It's like sips.
What is this for? What is it like? Where are you drinking this? Realistically,
I think it's like,
you know what I'm saying. Like, where is this Christmas?
Nah, I think it's like you're sitting down with like with your guy at the bar.
Right.
You know, at the bar, you're having like a sit down conversation.
I think you're kind of more so pissed off though than anything else.
Maybe like a long week.
Yeah, you had a long week. I don't know. I'll let you know in 45 minutes how the drunk is. You know. But anyway.
Yeah. So it was just like the idea of like investing in yourself, and I think a lot of people forget that they give and they always try to like almost like invest their time and energy into other people and other situations and stuff that doesn't really fulfill them. And I think the best thing you can do for yourself is really invest in yourself. Yeah. And that comes with spirituality, meditation, reading, your health, the gym, all those things. Like really take the time and work on those 4, 5, 6 things and invest that time and effort into yourself. Because I think once you can really like hone in on what's important, like outside of the materialistic things, like that's really the main things in your life that are going to make you happy and going to fulfill you, is when you can not have to worry about all the extra external shit in your life. And when you're just by yourself, like if you work on those 5 facets, then you can really just be at peace. And I think once I started to do that, like really take the time to invest into myself with all those things I just spoke about, I became a much better person. And you don't have to invest in yourself with, you know, like money into a business. Like all that stuff is good, but just like the simple things that like some people might not have the means to, right, to take out a loan or invest in their business to invest in themselves, or people might not have the means to invest in a car to be able to get them to and from their job, whatever. But everyone has the means to like meditate, read, go to the gym, work on your health, eat good food.
Yeah.
And I just think it makes you a better person overall. So I if anyone can take like a nugget out of that, it's just if you want to be a better person and you don't know where to start, I say start with those couple of things and then do it for 3, 4, 5 months and then see how much better your life is and see how much better you feel.
Yeah, bro, I would hope to one day for us to have honestly a program. Like again, we've already said it before, some type of app, some type of, just some type of program. Like I'm around so much people that are lost, and it's confusing to me because I'm so on the polar opposite side of it. Like, right, although, like, yeah, there are things in my life that I would want to be different, I'm not lost. I have a lot of clarity, you know? So I think that's something for us to be grateful for, right? Like, when we're upset about our lives, it's like, at least we have clarity on what we want to do. Because, like, how can you even manifest a life that you can't even see, you know? I was listening to someone today when I was sitting in the sauna. They were speaking about how like Bob Proctor, he's like a Think and Grow Rich guy, and he was speaking about how all great people, it's here first. They see it here first. Yeah. And I know my original point was I want to eventually make a program because I feel like it's not that hard. what I'm trying to get at is that I'm learning the power of your subconscious mind. And I'm finally, as of like literally like the past couple of days, and it's pretty funny because last week we had that podcast, and I was watching it, and I was a little not upset with it, because we actually got a lot of good feedback on it, and I know that we were just essentially showing a side of ourselves that, you know, that we were down.
Yeah.
And we've been getting some feedback lately, like, hey, like don't let him see you sweat. You know, like, do you want to, you know, like, do you want to show that side of you? And I guess I would just respond to that, like, bro, I'm not trying to put on any show. The moment I try to put on a show, or I try to overthink what's going to come out of my mouth, is the moment I'm not being authentic, which is the only reason why people fuck with this podcast. When we interviewed Umar Ashraf, shout out our guy, you know, go watch the last episode, shit's fucking great. When we interviewed him, he was like, hey, what is it that separates you guys? And at the time I felt disrespected, but he obviously didn't mean it that way. But it's like, bro, what separates us is that, and I've said it before, is, bro, we don't have a mountain standing between our heart and our mouths. We don't have a team of PR and HR specialists sitting in the corner of here saying, okay, you can say this, you can't say that, right? So I was watching the last episode, and I was a little upset that we were in that place. But I think it's actually more so inspiring for us to share that side of us, because now we're feeling fucking much better. I'm a little tired because it's been a long day. But like mentally I feel fucking amazing, and it's only really been like 5 days. So I think I went into that whole point just to say that I think that you and I have found a certain lifestyle that's really amazing, and maybe to other people they can discredit it because we don't have that much statistics, we don't have that much evidence that, you know, we talked about before. But as soon as we get that, people are going to take us a lot more serious. And that's when I think we're going to be able to step into that role of like, okay, guess what? We can help people.
Yeah.
And I really can't wait for that, because there's like what good is believing in something if you can't share it? Like, for instance, I had that clip of me speaking about your monkey mind.
Yes.
And, you know, we posted it yesterday. It's got over like 200,000 views now. But majority of the feedback on that is negative. And obviously the clip was taken like out of context, and it was kind of funny. And I didn't really say it correctly because I was like in a bad place.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that like the concept of that is a very spiritual concept. And I think that when you and I are in a better position, people are going to just take us more serious, and it's going to be able to help that much more people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. even watching back that episode, well, I watched it when I edited it, and I did the edit, I don't know, 3 or 4 days after, and we were kind of out of that mood already.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of like bothered me watching that episode back. Yeah. I didn't really like the tone that we were speaking in, and I started to read, obviously, the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Right.
And of course, you know, as soon as we're in that spot, the chapter I'm on is all about your mind and the thoughts that you put in it. And I was like, I mean, essentially what chapter 7 in the entire book was about, you don't have an ounce of room for a negative thought in your mind, ever. If you ever think of something negative, you need to move on to the next thought. You need to look at your mind like a slideshow, like a presentation. And all day, you have new slides coming in and out of your mind. And the moment a negative one comes, you got to click to the next slide. Because you can't think of two things at the same time. Try it. Try to think of two things at the same time.
Impossible.
So you can only focus on one thought at a time.
Yeah.
So if that one thought is negative, boom, move to the next one. And I started to implement that. And then, like you said, with Bob Proctor, where it's like it starts in the mind, and that's kind of what we've been doing since that point. Like, since we fell down, we like realized that we have to reprogram the way we think. and we really have to direct like our creative minds and like our vision and create it in our mind before, because anytime something has been created in the history of the world, it's been created twice. It was first created in your mind, and then it was created in reality. And there's not much of a difference between what's created in the mind and reality, because everything first starts off as a thought.
Right.
So if you can envision and think about the lifestyle that you want to live, and you can paint that picture like vividly in your mind over and over and over again, and that's all you think about, and then you take the correct actions in your life to put yourself in the position to make those visions become reality, it's kind of a simple concept.
Yeah.
And what do you think all these people that have, gone on to do these like most amazing things in the world and created this abundance of money and happiness and done everything they wanted to do in their lives? It's because it started as a thought in their mind.
Yeah. And
then they became, obsessed with that thought.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like and this is something we've said a lot too. It's like, bro, we are so much more powerful than we think we are. But you have to simplify it, like you have to, because bro, like now, again, I used to say, I'm not trying to like help others. It's like more so like a therapy thing. But now I kind of am trying to help others, because we've received over 1 million comments in the past 4 months. And we see, bro, a lot of people are like really hurting, so like, what, like I am trying to help people. And you know what, like also as well, I am overwhelmed by the amount of bad news there is on the news, on Instagram, all the social medias. And you know what, like, hey, like maybe this thing is blessed, right? Like maybe like we are supposed to, because bro, we like, it's pretty crazy to think about, like there has been sentences that have come out of our mouths that have like really helped people. Yeah. And then I thought about all of the help that I've received in my life when I was in really bad places. It came in the exact same outlet, but it just came from someone that I admired. And like, bro, there's people that do that for us. So I want to make it I want to try to simplify it for people, and like that takes us like really understanding it, because if you want to know if someone really understands something, I heard this quote once, if you want to know if someone really understands something, it's not about like them explaining it in this complex way. It's like about them explaining it in like the simplest way possible. And I think that's why my tongue can kind of get twisted sometimes when I go to explain the spiritual stuff, because as much as I don't want to admit it, I'm not as spiritually tapped in as I once was. So I'm like trying to like go back into my memory bank and get exactly what it was. But the thing I want to speak about right now is, again, the subconscious mind. And I think this could be a really great topic for today's video, because this is what's been going on the past like kind of 5 days for us. Mm-hmm. Like you said, like you were reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And I'm actually fucking hyped, bro, that like you got into that, because that is essentially explaining, like the book that you're reading right now is literally explaining the book that I'm reading, the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's the exact same thing, but I can't break it down to you well, but it broke it down. So now we're both on this vibe, because we've said it a bunch of times, like we're like, oh, we're fucked, podcast is done, and like we'll joke around about it, but like now, like what we've done in our mind, which was huge errors, was we've taken it farther than a joke. Like we actually have almost, at least I can speak for myself, and I can speak for you because I've seen it on you, is like we've wore the worry of this podcast not happening. Yeah. Bro, a week ago, I was like seriously contemplating getting a waitering job, when in reality, it's like, bro, like the only thing that I have to do is like, is continue to do this, but believe that it's going to happen. Yeah. So, cause we were speaking about, why is it? Because we're seeing the power of quantum physics. Quantum physics just means the law of attraction, right? We've been seeing the power of the law of attraction. Why don't you tell everyone listening what happened to you in your house the other day?
Oh yeah, this is a pretty funny story.
And then I have one after. Like this just in like the same. Was it the same day? Yeah.
Yeah.
The same exact
Same
day.
day.
Same day.
Yeah. So I have this mini fridge in my room that the freezer has a bunch of ice in it. So anytime I put a drink in there, the drink freezes overnight. So it was warm outside, so I wanted to clean out the fridge, leave it outside, and have the ice melt so then I can continue to use the fridge. So as I'm bringing the fridge upstairs, I had a thought in my mind. I'm like, yo, when I bring this back down, if I fell, that would be horrible. I imagine myself falling down the stairs. So I end up leaving it outside for like 2 days, let it melt, and then I came back when you were at my house to go bring the fridge back downstairs because we got another box from Suja, so I wanted to put the drinks in. Shout out to Suja, and I cleaned the fridge, and I'm walking down the stairs, and in my mind I thought about falling down the stairs so much I didn't really focus on my steps, and I take the first step with the fridge in my hand, and I slip off the first step, and the first thing that hits is the back of my head on the steps, and then me and the mini fridge tumble down the stairs from the top step, and the mini fridge goes through the wall.
I'm sitting down. I'm editing. All I hear is boom, like I'm huge, and I'm like, yo.
And then all you hear is, damn.
yo, I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't know what the fuck it was. You know what I'm saying, bro? I run over. I don't even see you. I see the fridge, and I see like a massive hole in the wall, and then I see you standing, and I'm like, yo, and then you're just like, damn.
Yeah, bro. My bell was kind of rung because I slipped, like my heel slipped off the first step.
Right.
I had like some slides on, and the first thing that hit was the back of my head on the step, like where the round part is.
Right.
And then me and the fridge went tumbling down.
That's fucking insane. So, bro, that's kind of the point that I'm getting at.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like I thought about falling down the stairs. If I would have never thought about it, I would have just subconsciously like casually walked down the stairs like I do every single day of my life, 10 times a day. I've carried fucking, furniture down the stairs. I've had my hands full. I've carried a bowl of soup and not spilled a drop.
Right.
But the moment I thought about falling down the stairs with this fridge, my first fucking step, get fucking laid out.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about it in my mind first, and then I brought it to reality.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. Apparently, there's your conscious mind, and then there's your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, it doesn't have any preferences. It doesn't know right from wrong. It doesn't know good from bad. But it does whatever the conscious mind tells it to do. So, like, if you go inside your brain right now and then you think a thought, hey, I'm thinking a thought, right? You do that inside of your brain. That's your conscious mind. And they say, that's how you can reprogram your subconscious mind is by doing affirmations. That's why people do I am love, I am light, I am strong, I am independent, I am attracting abundance, right? Like these types of affirmation type of things. It's because you're literally trying to reprogram your subconscious mind. And the reason why you would want to reprogram your subconscious mind is because your subconscious mind will do whatever your conscious mind is telling it. So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts all the time, thinking, hey, I'm a piece of shit, I'm fat, no one likes me, I don't have any money, my business is going to fail, that's apparently there's so much evidence, real like scientific evidence to show that that's what will happen. That's exactly what you're going to get out of life, right? So like that's what we've been like hyper careful of. And we actually have all this like kind of funny evidence of it, right? Like, think about a time in your life where you thought of something happening, right? Like Zach just said, he thought about himself falling down the fucking stairs with a fridge in his hands. You know what I'm saying? And then it happened, right? It happened to me the other day. Like, bro, literally, you fall down the stairs with the fridge in your hands. We laugh it off. Well, you don't really laugh it off. You're honestly kind of shaken up.
Yeah, I felt like I got hit by Brian Dawkins. I
Yeah,
kept
bro.
saying that.
Yeah,
I
fucking.
was like, I got my bell rung a little bit.
Yeah, bro. So I leave. I'm fucking out of there. So I go to the gym. But earlier in the day, there's this mom from Lifetime Fitness that's I met her a week before, and we had a nice conversation. I always speak to everyone. I love people. I love speaking to people, whatever. But it was like, you know, when you meet someone and you can just energetic. I'm not saying she's off, but I'm saying she's off for me. It doesn't work for me. Her personality and me don't work. Nice lady, but I didn't get a good vibe from her. She also tried to sell me some like MLM like marketing, like this like fit tea, and tried to market it to me like it was gonna change my life. I looked at the ingredients. It was like green tea. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, she hosted this yoga class earlier in the day. She hounded me the entire week to go to it. I ended up not going, and I'm just not that good on my phone. And I just work in a way of like, bro, if you hound me, if you don't hound me, I'm probably not going to answer my phone. But if you hound me, I'm certainly not going to answer my phone. So anyway, earlier in the day, I missed this person's yoga class. So I'm driving to the gym, and I'm like, oh, what if I see her at the gym, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm going to text her and say, hey, sorry for missing the class. I was busy, whatever, right? I forget to go inside the gym, go inside the sauna. And I remember when I'm sitting inside the sauna, I'm like, oh my God, bro, I forgot to text this fucking mom back. You know, like what if she comes to the gym? So I actually end up leaving the gym and like sprinting outside. Like I end up sprinting outside to get to my car. Cause I'm like, yo, once I'm in my car, I'm not going to see her, and then I can just text her, and then it's like all good, right? So I get to my car, I get on my phone, I'm sitting down, and I'm looking at something on my phone for like 10 minutes, and I completely forget about her again, and I get a fucking knock on my window, and I turn, and it's her, and she's like, thank you, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, yo, like I'm just bad with my phone. And then she walked away, right? So whatever. So like we're probably not good anymore, and that's like why we can post this, because like we're probably, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, the whole point of the fucking story is that people, like, I don't understand how anyone can be an atheist, or at least I'm not saying you have to believe in God, but there has to be some type of infinite divine intelligence that is governing everything, because there's so much of these moments that happen in people's lives, and that is a perfect example of you will experience whatever it is that you think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to also talk about something that we've been talking about to get out of quantum physics, but talk about delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And that's another huge part to, I think it's the next step after understanding your subconscious, after understanding like your thoughts create your reality, because you can't just think of something, try it in real life, and then expect to have results right away. So that's where like delayed gratification comes into play. And there was this study at Stanford with, it was called the marshmallow experiment. And basically what the scientists did, they took a group of children and they asked them, they asked them, do you want this marshmallow right now? Or you can wait a little while and have two. A bunch of kids obviously took the marshmallow right away, and they didn't get a second one. And then there was a group of kids that waited for the two marshmallows. And basically what the study did after they, did some studies on their brains was that the ones that wanted the instant gratification and wanted the marshmallow right away had way worse mental problems. They suffered from, like ADHD, anxiety, all these things, right? And then the ones that were willing to wait and then reap the benefits after a prolonged period of time were much more calm, were much more relaxed, were much more just mentally sharp. And that was with children. And I think that's like a crazy thing is, I saw Alex Hermosi speak about this, and he said, look at your life like a marathon, right? Like a 26 mile, that's a 26 mile run. It's a marathon, right? So he goes, if your life is a marathon, right? When you sign up for the marathon, you donate a bunch of money, you're all hyped, you get your number, everyone's cheering you on, everyone's, so proud of you because you decided to do this. Then when you finish the marathon, it's like a celebration, everyone's so happy. You did this like amazing once in a lifetime thing for some people, but people forget the 26 miles in between the start and the finish.
Right.
And that's where you are created.
Mm.
So a lot of people only, people will congratulate you in the beginning and be happy for you in the beginning. And then a lot of people will show you love and flowers and stuff when you finally make it.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to be there for the 26 miles for the middle part. And the middle part is the fucking, the whole journey. It's the whole point of everything you do. That's where you get built. And that's kind of where we're in, right? Like we started this thing, then we expected results right away, and we didn't really get them. Then we got down, but now we're understanding that the being able to like accept delayed gratification and reap the benefits after like a prolonged period of time and really sit there and put in the time, put in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to make the end result like so much more worth it. And I think that's something that, especially now, everything like there's like this microwave society now. Like people want to put shit in the microwave and get it out in 30 seconds. When you need to slow cook shit, you need to put shit in the oven, you need to bake shit for an hour, 2 hours at a time, because food out the oven is a lot better than food out the microwave.
Right.
And our generation, especially like people in our age bracket from 21 to 30, where people are not willing to really put the time in and put years of building something, because I think social media, the people around you, just everything that we're kind of consumed with right now, with just the way society is, we're just so like saturated with successful people all the time, like on the internet that we see, and we don't see the fucking 10 years it took them to get to that point. We only see them enjoying that life.
Yeah, man. For anyone listening, as much as we preach spirituality, I would say we're 50%, somewhere in that range, just about work ethic, and we were speaking before this episode about all the people that start podcasts. Like we even have a close homie who started a podcast. We helped him out and hasn't put an episode out in a month, and you can't do that. That you can't do that, because like momentum is so important in life. Like if you're really trying to, if you're trying to do something and you're already, the odds are already stacked against you, if you take some time off, it's going to fuck you. It's going to ruin you. It's all momentum. You got to build these fucking habits, right? And so the point that I'm trying to get at is like, guys, like if you're fucking watching this or if you're listening to this, just know, like, if you want to do some worthwhile shit, majority of the people that you're competing against in this new generation, this like social media age, aren't going to work as hard as you. They're not going to work nearly as hard as you. Like everyone wants everything instantly, like you said, and everyone is really bad at overcoming adversity. And when I say everyone, let's just clarify, a large amount of people. I would honestly say, I would say the statistic is 95% of people half-ass things, or give a lackluster effort to things.
Bare minimum.
So when you really think about it, like for instance, like we have a podcast, right? It's so easy to comment, just another guy with a podcast, but like, bro, look at this shot. Listen to the way it sounds. Is this just another guy with a podcast? Look at the followers. I mean, like if you're saying that, you're really hating. But so I'm just saying for any lane that you want to do in your life, that there's anything that you want to do, like social media, like how fucking amazing is it that in 2023, if you want to learn some type of skill, you can look up how to do it. One, it's fucking amazing, okay? And then two, majority of people that you're going to be competing against want the success of it instantly. So if you're willing to actually take it serious and treat your thing like a fucking well-oiled machine and work harder than everyone else, there's no way that you can fail. Yeah. There's absolutely no way that you can fail, and that's how I feel about us. And I think that's just an optimistic message, Again, like this is like I'm really more so just speaking to our real fucking listeners here, because like number one, we appreciate you. I know like a lot of you guys come back for every episode, and I want to like really be able to give you guys game, and like that's just an amazing piece of game, because I understand A lot of you guys, maybe you guys are a little bit more spiritual, and you don't have an athletic background like you and I. So maybe for you, the easy part actually is the manifestation. Like the easy part is the being creative and thinking of yourself in scenarios that you want to be in, and painting the life and doing the meditations and the visualizations and the journaling and the reading. Maybe that's the easy part for you, but the hard part is taking action on it.
Yeah.
And taking action on it is just as important as all the manifestation shit.
Right.
And that's why manifestation gets a bad rep. I've been saying manifestation more lately because like I do believe in it. Like manifestation does work, but manifestation certainly does not work if you don't put any fucking action in.
Yeah. That was there was another like cool part in that book that kind of talks about that with like work ethic and time. And I think like yes, work ethic is obviously, I think it's the most important thing. I think work ethic in anything you do is the most important thing, but you also can't try to like speed up what you're doing.
But would you put work ethic above the visualizing of the thing that you want?
Yes.
But what if you can swing a hammer really hard?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you can like overexert yourself and just try so hard. It has to be a balance of both. But I think like it's a lot easier to think about things than it is to actually apply it into real life. So the story of the boy and the teacher. The boy goes to the teacher and he says, "Hey, I'm here. You're going to tell me everything I need to do. How long is it going to take me?" And the teacher goes, 5 years. He goes, "Okay, what if I work twice as hard?" Teacher goes, "It'll take you 10 years. And he goes, "All right, what if I don't sleep? All I do is, eat, breathe, and do this thing?" Teacher goes, "It'll take you 15 years. And the boy was just so confused. He's like, "How? Like, it doesn't make sense." And then the teacher basically breaks it down to him like, you need to run like your race. Like there is no like cheat codes. There is no, shortcuts in this. And just because like you're going to like work harder, it doesn't always mean you're going to work smarter and actually do anything beneficial towards what you're pursuing.
Yeah.
So you need to understand like and find a healthy balance between working hard and having like a balanced lifestyle. Because if all you do is work hard all day and you put in all these hours and you swing the hammer all day, you're going to burn out. Yeah. You're not going to even last the 5 years. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like what the whole message was about. You work twice, 3, 4 times as hard. I work harder than everyone else. But it's like, what are you really doing? Like a lot of the times I think a lot of people, they're confused with hard work and like just kind of burning calories. They're just like doing excess work. It's not really like beneficial. It's kind of like, when you're in the gym for too long, right? Like I do that to a fault sometimes. Mm-hmm. Where, I should have cut my workout at like an hour 30, hour 40. And then like I still feeling okay. And then I work out for another 30, 40 minutes and then my shoulder hurts the next day.
Right.
But I think, cause I'm putting in the extra time, I'm getting extra reps, I'm going to be like growing more, but in reality, I'm hurting myself more because I'm not giving my muscles time to recover. Mm. So I think if you put that into, outside the gym, into, your workspace, whatever your dream you're following, it doesn't mean just do it all day and don't have time for anything else. Like be okay with putting in the 5 years because when the time is right, it'll happen.
Yeah, you can't, bro. At the end of the day, God has a plan for you. At the end of the day, God is more powerful than you, like at the end of the day, if God has a say in your life, there's nothing that you can probably do about that. And that's really tough to say. Like, for instance, my aunt just went through a really terrible divorce. She didn't want that thing, right? But how many scenarios across the fucking history of people has something bad happen to someone they didn't understand at the time, and then 10 years later they're like sitting on top of this fucking mountaintop. They've achieved so much. They're such a better person because this terrible incident happened to them. And the incidents can be really bad, but just for how bad the incident can be, so can the glory, right? Like the glory is or like, well, I was going to say, I don't think that God can do anything to you that's irreversible, but I did realize that like some people die, but like, bro, some people would even argue that that's like kind of in the plan of everything. And I think I myself, bro, as a believer in God and a believer in and everything happens for a reason, like death, there has to be some reason in death. There has to be something. And I know that that's like extremely hard for people to get, especially, for you, like you lost your mom, and I have to, someone that believes in God is supposed to have tremendous faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's what believing in God really is all about. And I think faith is about not knowing the answer and understanding that something may not make sense to your human mind, but understanding that there was a reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. Death is the most beautiful and scary thing in the world that we know.
Yeah.
The only reason life is important and the only reason you want to get up and do things is because we know that our time here is limited. Without death, nothing would matter. So death is really like the most beautiful thing in life that we have, because it's the only time that we really have to make something out of our lives, because we know that this clock is going to expire.
Yeah.
Someday it's going to expire. And you and I spoke about it today, of just like how quick things can change in the blink of an eye. You could think about all these things you're about to do today, or the person you're about to see, and then boom, something happens.
Yeah.
Could be, a car accident, you lose a loved one, a bomb threat, whatever.
Get someone pregnant.
Yeah, no, like even, to like relationship stuff,
Yeah.
you get broken up with, divorced, cheated on, all these things that like you never think about, because so many people are just kind of going with the flow of things and really aren't present. And I think that's the importance of presence, is like being super locked into every moment, because life can switch up on you and you have no control of what's fucking happening. Majority of the time, everything in your life is completely out of your control. You can really only control a few things in your life.
Yeah.
And everything else it's up to God and up to the universe.
Yeah, but the craziest part about people that aren't present, and I myself that's not present a lot of the time, is like, bro, you can control your present moment. Like, that's how they say you can manifest things, is because they say manifestation and like changing your life happens in your subconscious mind, but your conscious mind is the mind that I'm speaking with you right now, meaning like your conscious mind is your present mind. So the only way to like create a different lifestyle for yourself is like you have to think about your conscious mind in the present moment as like a guard to your life happening the way that you want it to, and your life not happening the way you want it to. So like if I right now decide that I'm going to think all these negative thoughts and I'm not guarding my subconscious mind with my conscious mind, I'm going to have that type of life. Right? And it's the same way, like I can decide how well I want my day to go with how with all of the things that I do in the present moment. I think that's something that I've fucked up a lot on, because I think that's something that we fuck up a lot on, and I think that it's very natural because we want the most out of life. But I think that moving forward, bro, we need to have like a little bit more of a gauge of what's overworking, like what's overdoing, because like you said before, like you told the story of the 5-year, the 10-year, the 15-year, the teacher and the kid. Like we need to understand, like when we're working too much, like I don't think working too much is going to negatively impact us, because I believe timing is just timing. I believe once you're on your path, your timing is just your timing. But I believe that if you overwork, it's not going to fuck up the outcome, but it's going to stress you the fuck out. It's going to give you gray hair.
But then you being stressed out could take away from who you really are and being the best version of yourself. So then essentially later down the road, it could take you away from what you were about to get.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess, and maybe that's why, because theoretically it makes absolutely no sense to us, to me, that our financial situation isn't better, our living situation isn't better, that we're not able to get bigger guests on, that we're not able to, like, I can't even speak to my father because he doesn't understand what I'm doing. I'm going on 2 years of that. Because my dad just doesn't understand what an influencer is, what a podcast is. He sees no future in it, and it fucking hurts, bro. Truthfully, it fucking hurt. Like I thought about it today. Like every time I meditate, the thing that I really think about, like when I visualize something, is I think about my family, because that's the thing that satisfies me the most, bro. It's not wars, or, it's not watches or cars or money, bro. It's like it is a nice, beautiful house, nice, beautiful backyard, but with my family, and the fact that my father doesn't fucking speak to me because I'm trying to be an influencer, it fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. So I say all of that to say, one, I'm going to mend my relationship with my father, but two, like, I've been wondering, why do I have to put up with all this bullshit, God? I feel like I'm so fucking talented. I feel like I can conquer the world. I feel like you've given me so much gifts, and I'm so likable, and I have such an intense work ethic, but why do you still put me through so much shit? And I think the reason is because we don't decide when it's our time to succeed. One, and then two, no, I think that actually what I actually think is, I think that, speaking of the power of your subconscious mind, I think that we have just made a lot of mistakes with our conscious mind. I think that we fed our conscious mind garbage. I do it all the time, bro. I'm not going to speak exactly what I do, but there's a lot of things that I do when I could be guarding my subconscious mind, when I could be feeding my subconscious mind, but I'm taking away from it. I think that right now in this moment, if we were to use this as a clip, if we were to check back in 2 months, and you and I actually locked in on making good conscious decisions instead of taking away from our conscious mind, we're going to be amazed at all the things we're going to be able to actually manifest.
Yeah.
Because the truth is that you and I are at that point. Earlier in the episode, you said something very important. You said, hey, when you start out, you need to be able, you need to delay gratification. I don't think that that's where we're at. I think that we have delayed gratification long enough. At the end of the day, it is God's decision, but I, truthfully, with all the evidence that I have, believe that we have delayed gratification long enough. And I believe that if we can think differently and act differently, maybe that's when all the things we want are going to start happening for us. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think any single thing you do, it starts in your mind. Mm. It starts with one thought. One thought, if you look at your mind, like a thought is like an embryo, right? Yeah. And it's going to grow. So if you plant a positive, abundant thought in your mind, it's going to grow greater and it's going to multiply. Yeah. Same thing goes for like the negative. So yeah, absolutely. I think the moment we really lock in on our thoughts and our thought process and the things we spend time on the most, yeah, I think our lives will be a lot better. Yeah. And I think we'll attract greater and far better things because of the mind frame that we'll be in. Yeah. And I don't think we're in a terrible mind frame, but I think we can never go back to like the way we were acting or thinking, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Because that was like a testament to even how we started that, right? We said life is a game of runs, and then boom, like the next week, like we caught an upswing. Yeah. And then the main thing we talked about was like when you're in that upswing, prolong that run as long as possible. And I think the only way we can prolong that run is by keeping a positive mindset and keeping positive thoughts. So yeah. I think we're doing just fine, bro. I think we're right on track.
Miami.
Yeah, and I'm excited for this week. So that should be really good.
Yeah, we got a beautiful podcast tomorrow with the Lost Breed.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
Boy, Josh,
this
yeah.
is probably some manifestation shit. I really used to fucking rock with the Lost Breed. I remember like being a young bull, and just thinking, yo, that's the coolest fucking name ever. Like, I almost wanted to take the name, like, wanted to copy the fucking name, you know, watching their videos and getting fired up by it, you know. And then now I almost feel like we're going to interview the Lost Breed on like an equal level to them, you know, which is like insane to think about. Like, got some guys like I used to look up to. So we do that tomorrow. We don't even have to do that because we're leaving for Miami on Monday, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to Miami Monday. Miami's going to be a fucking beautiful week. We've been talking about it. I think something huge is going to happen for us in Miami. So obviously we're going to be running podcasts. That's why we're going. I was supposed to do a modeling shoot, my first modeling shoot, with a pretty big company, actually. I don't know if it's canceled, but they haven't been answering back. But hey, that's my fucking life, you know. It's like, bro, if someone doesn't see the value in me, I'm gonna make them fucking see it, you know. And by then, it's too late. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have a good week. And other than that, bro, I mean, is there anything else you'd like to speak about?
I think we're good.
Yeah. Chilling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in Miami.
Good stuff.